Picture this. You're riding across Tsushima at sunset. The grass is swaying, the wind's in your ears, and for a second, you forget you're even holding a controller. That's because Ghost of Tsushima isn't just a game. It's a samurai movie you get to live inside. Yeah, you've probably seen Kurosawa mode in those epic slow-motion sword duels, but there's more going on here. There's a whole layer of subtle design choices, tiny psychological tricks that make you feel like you've stepped straight into a 1960s Japanese cinema classic without even realizing it. The wind guiding you instead of a map. The duel that starts with total silence. These aren't happy accidents. They're deliberate moves designed to pull you deeper into another time and place. By the end of this video, you'll spot details you've missed dozens of times before, and once you see them, you'll never play the same way again. Before we break down Ghost of Tsushima's design tricks, we need to talk about what actually makes a samurai movie feel like a samurai movie. It's not just swords, honor, and slow walks in the rain. It's the mood. Classic directors like Akira Kurosawa built tension through framing, pacing, and silence. Every shot felt like it could be printed as a photograph. The wind in the grass, the distant rumble of thunder before a fight, the way characters stand still for just a beat longer than you expect. That's the magic. These movies were about patience and payoff. You'd get a long, quiet stare, and then, bam, a lightning-fast clash of steel. They were poetry with blades. Sucker Punch didn't just copy those ideas, they baked them right into the gameplay. The way you ride your horse through fields of pampas grass, that's a moving painting. The sudden storm rolling in as you approach an enemy camp, straight out of Seven Samurai. Even the way enemies hesitate before attacking you, it's staged like choreography in a film. Here's the wild part. You don't notice most of it while you're playing. The game's cinematic DNA works in your subconscious, shaping how you feel without you even realizing why. And there's one trick in particular, probably the biggest, that Sucker Punch used to blur the line between film and game. It's something you've experienced dozens of times, but probably never questioned. And we'll get to that in a few minutes. One of the sneakiest ways Ghost of Tsushima nails the samurai movie vibe is through its framing, basically how the game shows you the action. Most games keep the camera locked at a fixed height and distance, but Tsushima's camera moves like there's an invisible cinematographer following you around. When you walk under a torii gate, it tilts up just enough to make it feel monumental. When you're creeping through tall grass, it drops lower, almost like a spy shot from an old Kurosawa film. Even in combat, the game avoids cluttering the screen with giant health bars and mini-maps. Instead, it leaves space for the scene to breathe, so your eyes focus on the motion, the light, and the environment. Exactly how a film director would stage a fight. The transitions are subtle too. After a duel, the camera lingers for a second, letting you soak in the aftermath before pulling back to gameplay. You don't think about it, but that pause is doing the same thing a movie's closing shot does, giving you time to feel the moment. It's like you're not just controlling Jin, you're also quietly directing his movie without even realizing it. In Ghost of Tsushima, the environment isn't just a backdrop, it's part of the story. The island changes as you play, almost like it's reacting to Jin's journey. Fields of golden pampas grass sway under a bright sky when you're exploring freely, but ride into a Mongol camp and watch how the weather turns. Clouds thicken, the wind howls, sometimes rain starts to fall. It's not random. The game actually adjusts the weather based on your actions and choices. Even the seasons you pass through feel intentional. Early areas are lush and green, evoking a sense of hope. Later, you ride through crimson autumn forests that feel almost like they're on fire, a visual echo of the war raging across the island. Then there are the little things. Foxes guiding you to shrines, fireflies lighting your path, petals drifting through the air during duels. These touches aren't just pretty, they set a tone, just like a film score would. Sucker Punch essentially turned nature into a supporting character, one that helps tell the story without a single line of dialogue. And when you notice it, you realize you've been reading the island like a book this whole time. One thing Ghost of Tsushima nails, better than almost any other game, is the rhythm of its combat. It's not just button mashing until someone drops. The fights have a pulse. There's a build-up, a clash, and a moment of stillness, just like in the best samurai films. Take the duels, for example. They don't open with chaos. They open with quiet. The camera locks in, the music fades, and you're just standing there, sizing up your opponent. That silence, it's doing as much storytelling as the fight itself. When the blades finally cross, the action is sharp and fast, but never overwhelming. There's space between strikes, breathing room, so each block, parry, and counter lands with weight. It's less like a video game and more like stage choreography, where every movement has meaning. And then there's the ending. When you land the killing blow, the game pauses. The camera holds on the scene, the music lingers, and you get to feel the moment before the world starts moving again. That pacing makes victories feel legendary, and mistakes sting like dishonor. You're not just playing a fight, you're performing one worthy of the big screen. Okay, let's talk about the most obvious nod to samurai cinema, Kurosawa mode. At first glance, it's just a black and white filter with some film grain slapped on, but that's selling it short. Sucker Punch didn't simply desaturate the colors, they fine-tuned the contrast, deepened the shadows, and shifted the lighting to mimic how mid-20th century film stock reacted to light. The sound got a makeover too. In Kurosawa mode, the audio is slightly compressed with a narrower range, just like the old mono recordings. The wind sounds harsher, swords have a sharper clang, and even voices feel like they're echoing through an old theater speaker. This wasn't thrown in as a gimmick. It's a full-on love letter to Akira Kurosawa, the director who gave us Seven Samurai, Yojimbo, and basically the visual language of the samurai genre. Here's the thing. Kurosawa mode is at its best when you've already played through the story once. Without rushing to learn mechanics or chase objectives, you start noticing the little details. You ride slower, line up shots more carefully, and suddenly every duel feels like it belongs on a grainy movie poster. It's not just a mode, it's a time machine to the golden era of samurai cinema. Alright, here's the part I've been teasing since the start, the single biggest, sneakiest trick that makes Ghost of Tsushima feel like a samurai movie. The absence of a traditional HUD, and the way the game uses the world itself to guide you. Think about it. Most open-world games throw a mini-map, quest markers, and giant compass bars on your screen. It's like watching a movie while someone waves sticky notes in your face. But in Tsushima, Sucker Punch ripped all of that away and replaced it with something invisible, the guiding wind. Instead of an arrow on a map, the wind physically blows in the direction you should go. Leaves scatter, grass bends, your cape flutters. It's an in-world cue that keeps your eyes on the scene instead of a corner of the screen. That's pure cinematic immersion. And it doesn't stop there. Golden birds will swoop in to lead you to secrets. Foxes appear from nowhere, darting toward hidden shrines. Smoke on the horizon tells you there's trouble, long before you arrive. Even sound plays a role. You might hear the low rush of a waterfall or the distant crackle of a campfire before you spot it. This isn't just a neat mechanic, it's psychological design. By stripping away UI clutter, the game forces you to read the island the same way Jin would. You begin to trust your instincts, scanning the horizon for clues instead of staring at an objective marker. That shift is huge. Without constant reminders you're in a game, your brain starts treating Tsushima like a real place and the journey like a lived experience. And that's the secret sauce. Sucker Punch didn't just make a game look like a samurai movie, they made you experience it like one. So, next time you play Ghost of Tsushima, pay attention. Notice the way the wind pushes you forward, the way the camera lingers after a duel, the way the weather shifts to match your mood. None of it's an accident. It's a masterclass in game design that makes you feel like the star of your own samurai epic. If you spotted details I didn't mention, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive.